Does he get that today? I'm not totally sure. He beat Shams by 2 minutes to the story that the FBI has descended upon the NBA as soon as the season starts and is yanking players and coaches off the court because, hey, turns out gambling with your sports can be kind of dangerous if the athletes and coaches are involved when they're not supposed to be and using their own moral compasses.
Adam Silver's having a good year.
Kash Patel is going to do a dog and pony show at 10 a.m. to show everybody that it's all Terry Rozier's fault.
He's joining us.
Chris Cody, he's doing a press conference.
Something different.
He's doing a 10 a.m. press conference that has engulfed the sport and the sports world so much that Chris Cody, fed this kind of information that he doesn't have a lot of familiarity with, says, look, Terry Rozier feeling kind of lucky today when Chauncey Billups' name is associated with the gambling probe. And then I just hear from the other side of the room, he's going to federal prison, Chris.
I didn't say he's happier.
Yeah, but optics are important, Chris. You're
He's
right.
happier than he was before the Chauncey thing dropped.
Okay, no.
I think he is. He's
No.
like, God, he can be the lead now.
No.
I got second billing now.
Nope. He was cleared by the NBA, and then the FBI says, no, the feds say, no, you're not cleared. And all Mike Ryan is doing is trying to figure out how much salary cap does this space cause? How much salary cap space is this team going to get because of the relief of finally Terry Rozier, one of the least popular athletes in the history of South Florida, according to only Mike Ryan. Only Mike Ryan.
Look at that smile on his face.
Oh, this is one of the happiest days. I believe Mike
playing
Ryan.
happy music all morning.
I believe Mike Ryan is happier today than he was with either of the Panther championships.
Ooh, it's right up there.
I think you're going to go over to 11 and start partying in the morning to celebrate that Terry Rozier is coming off the books.
I'm getting text messages congratulating me like I got a promotion.
That part's weird.
I was playing Katrina in the Waves this morning. I got a perma-smile. Look at me. I'm my best self right now. That NBA investigation. We should talk a little bit about that. He was cleared by the NBA. I'm sure they'll turn it around with this whole Kawhi thing.
We're going to have David Sampson on to explain to us an unholy mess in the NBA. And this day has been coming for a while because you can only have so many Jonte Porters before people realize.
A Hall of Famer got arrested.
He has no business
coach.
being in that Hall of Fame.
Wait a minute. Don't make it a Hall of Famer.
No. Like, he is, in this century, a face of the game. He is a Hall of Fame player, a champion, and a current head coach.
Hall of Fame.
Probably happy.
A Hall of Fame. A Hall of Famer being arrested for this is not as big as an active coach being arrested for this. An active coach being arrested for this is a much bigger problem than Hall of Famer was gambling.
Right. Happier.
Right, but, Chauncey Billups is both.
Basketball is back, Jack. Time for our favorite winter sport. The summertime is over, so let's head down to the court. Time for the tip-off. Give me fast breaks on the attack. Will you shoot a three or take it to the rack? Basketball is back, Jack. It's a dream shake down in the post, or a killer cross you love the most. When the offense tries to run and gun, is it man-to-man or box and one? It's big plays and talking smack. That's how you know that basketball is back, Jack. Let me hear you say basketball, basketball, basketball. Basketball is back, Jack. 360 dunks and pick and roll. And we're gonna watch it every day till they raise the Larry O. Hard fouls and hook shots. A dagger three and hack a shack. If you say this game's the best, I'll say it's a gag. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back. Basketball is back, Jack.
I think my favorite part of that opening video is how progressively worse your father's lip syncing gets over the course of time that we've been doing this. I thought I was going to start with Tua is now too small and can't see his receivers.
This guy.
And is Johnny Manziel in another uniform? I thought I was going to start with the Heat are going to be better than people think they are because they're going to score more, they're going to be fun, but have the same problems at the end of games that they had last year when you're trusting Norman Powell as your lead option or Tyler Hero as opposed to a different option. But that's going to be a playoff team this year if they stay healthy. But the place we're going to stay, I'm imagining, all show today is a really uncommon scandal, multiple scandals now, because Adam Schefter is wandering over from football to say that the Chauncey Billups report, the arrest, is about a separate gambling ring tied to the mafia and poker games and is not tied to betting on games. Terry Rozier has been arrested by the feds, and at 10 a.m., Kash Patel is going to have a press conference because the federal government is going to make a big show of arresting athletes who are misbehaving around money because the NBA may have cleared Terry Rozier and is going to have some explaining to do today, but the feds have not cleared Terry Rozier. They have arrested him, and while an arrest is not guilt, it is still innocent until proven guilty. This is the kind of mess that the NBA did not ever want to have, but knew it was coming as soon as gambling started becoming normalized. And I want people to understand, I've written about this before, when competitionaholics aren't on the court at the highest gladiator spectacle level of we play in front of millions every day, they're gambling and competing like that on airplanes, in card games, with giant amounts of money. And when you retire, that doesn't. Like, your money may be gone, but the desire to compete at that level, some people will call it just competition and get rewarded for it. Others will call it gambling addiction, and all of a sudden you're in way over your head. Very few of the people who escalate to the place that Terry Rozier now finds himself in see it coming as it escalates and as debts rise and as they realize, wait a minute, I've been gambling like this on airplanes all my life. What do you mean I'm in trouble now that I can't afford it?
Okay, so at the risk of sounding super ignorant, Chauncey Billups apparently he has been arrested by the FBI in connection with illegal gambling tied to the mafia. We're talking poker games, stuff like that. That's illegal to play poker games?
Well, the tied to the mafia thing, I think, is something to look at. And I know you mentioned Adam Schefter, who shared the story, but it was ABC's reporting that said, while it's separate, some games may have connection to this poker game in their investigation. There seems to be a tether. Like, we'll see. And we'll apologize for any news that we get wrong or conjecture, as this is a lot of news coming in a quick amount of time. NBC News went out and reported that the things that surround Chauncey Billups don't involve any games that he was actively coaching in.
There will be more names and more information coming out over the course of the day, and I will reiterate what Mike just said. Forgive us if we're a little sloppy here on the front end, as this is a lot of stuff happening early in the morning, and it's pretty seismic, okay? Because it's no longer Jonte Porter and some prop bets. You now have names associated with gambling that make this the risk that has always been involved, that the leagues were always afraid of. I've told you before, Zaslow, one of the great shocks of my lifetime is seeing the NFL in Vegas, having an NFL team in Vegas, given what the NFL was for 10 years in terms of being vigilant about we have to be very careful that nothing affects the integrity of our games. So we're going to have a whole lot of, I'm assuming, Terry Rozier is just the start. They don't do this kind of show at 10 a.m. involving the federal government if they've just got Terry Rozier.
Like, there's been a lot of dog and pony shows lately to distract people from God knows what. But I would say that I know, let's address the elephant in the room. Our show is presented by DraftKings, and a lot of people are going where you're going, which is like, well, if this is legal in more states, then what do you think is going to happen? Gambling is not new. Athletes gambling is not new. What is new is this being a regulated market and these companies sharing data with their league partners because bookies aren't flagging things to the NBA. That's what's different. The only thing that's different in terms of society is these betting partners are now sharing data, and you're able to catch these people because this has been going on for a very long time, and a lot of people, a lot of great names have gotten away with it.
I'm glad you pointed that out, because that's obviously going to be a major talking point today, that this is why it's terrible for these pro leagues to be in bed with the gambling companies, and that is just not true. Because how many Terry Roziers have they been over the last 100 years before it was regulated? The fact that we have this relationship now and that it is legal and in most states and it is regulated is why we're able to catch guys like Terry Rozier. This is actually a good thing.
You can buck up against that and say availability. You all right there, pal? You're like, I know it's accessible, but it's accessible to sloppy criminals.
Hold on. Okay, to say that Terry Rozier is involved in a gambling probe that involves his federal arrest, and that Chauncey Billups is playing poker games with the mafia, I'm not willing to say just yet that this is good.
Wouldn't have caught them.
Give me a day to process the information arriving on my doorstep that is different than any I've seen that involves a coach in a mafia poker game before I say this is good. The integrity of sport matters. You have to know that the result is legitimate. Every single time we're talking about these games decided by these super thin margins, you have to have the comfort as a customer that none of what you're watching is professional wrestling, that everything that you're watching is real and uncompromised by some of these immoralities that can be a very, very thin line, Zaz, between Chauncey Billups is in mafia poker games. Chauncey Billups is making game time decisions that affect the results of the games as the leader and coach. I'm not willing to go where you are yet. I'm not willing to go where Cash Patel is yet either, because they're going to make a big show of this, and I will wait to see what is actually true and what isn't true. You are correct when you are saying there are more chances to catch people and throw them into the light. I will reserve judgment on whether that's good on the customer to see how many athletes are doing this. Wait a minute. It was as a dirty secret that was in private. I liked it better then when I knew that my results
That's fair.
That my results might
That's
not
fair.
be fishy.
No, I appreciate you tugging on the opposite side of the line, but illegal card games with the mafia have nothing to do with sports books being legal in individual states.
Again, why is it illegal? Why? What makes a card game illegal?
I mean, you can't track any of the income. You can't track anything that's
the mafia
taxed. And the mafia aspect and the amount of money involved. And I know, I'm going to say this again, okay? Look up Gilbert Arenas' career earnings for me, please. You guys don't understand what these poker games are on these flights. The amount of money involved, the amount of fights because of the amount of money you have to be betting for it to matter.
Feel like something,
for Tyrone Hill to get punched by Charles Oakley because things have escalated to such a place that now you're fighting your teammates, your brothers, your fellow soldiers because an amount of money that hurts you on a plane when Sean McVay would have his Rams sleeping. The amount of money that you've lost on a plane makes team chemistry worse because all of a sudden two guys don't like each other because somebody just lost $250,000 on the plane.
Gilbert Arenas has made $163 million in his 13-year career.
So he, I don't know what the true details are. I've seen some of what's reported. I don't know what happened with Gilbert Arenas and what kind of circles he's running in.
And for people who don't remember, it was a couple months ago. He was arrested for renting out a home to a big,
on bail,
poker.
Out on bail turned it into content. There's a lot of illegal poker games that happen pretty much with impunity. I think the connection to the mafia, a criminal enterprise for those that don't know, is and the fact that from reporting
La
from
Cosa
NBC,
Nostra.
this does seem to be related to the NBA in some form or fashion. It's not a coincidence that these things are coming out at the exact same time, I don't believe.
We will find out together on some of this stuff. Apparently, Damon Jones has now also been arrested.
It's always the guy you expect the most.
You know what? That turnover in Game 7 in 2000, like, we had the lead with 90 seconds left. It was such a bad giveaway. Just give the ball to Shaq. This makes so much sense now, Damon Jones.
Amin has, we're behaving like a real news operation. Amin has now just flown to Pablo's side in New York. He was supposed to be here today, but Pablo is out in front on this story. Some of his producers, I won't name them, have been calling Shams a bootlicker because they beat him by 2 minutes to this story. And they have more information. Pablo's team has been following this for a while, and so we're going to get more and more information as today progresses. But the thing that I wanted to stop you on again when you say this is a good thing, I want to go ahead and let you imagine. Just imagine if I told you right now, hey, did you guys know that Spo was like friends with the mafia? Did you guys know that there were poker games? Like, you see how it's not a big stretch. Like, once you're playing the poker game with the mafia, it's not a big stretch till they get into you. And now all of a sudden you got a Tim Donaghy situation. Like, it's just not a – nobody thinks when Terry Rozier is being arrested and hauled off to jail by the feds, he did not see this escalating to this point. Wherever it is that he was gambling and doing whatever it is that he was doing, this is not the end result that he considered, or he never would have done it. If he thought that this was the risk, that, wait a minute, my career's immediately over, my ability to make $26 million a year is immediately over. It's the same thing I used to say when Michael Vick got arrested for dogfighting. There's simply no way he thought that those were the consequences on dogfighting, or he would have stopped dogfighting.
Terry Rozier definitely so bad at hiding it. Too many air balls.
I'm a victim in all of this. Yeah, you are. The Miami Heat are victims. The salary should come off the books. We were defrauded. The same way Steve Ballmer alleges he was defrauded. This is bad. The league needs to do something about this. I may sue for damages.
You need damages. I saw what you became over the last year since I didn't recognize that person.
I didn't like basketball.
I didn't like the person I saw.
I had to find my smile.
You lost your joy.
I lost my smile.
You found it this morning.
Oh, I did. Katrina and the Waves helped.
It's a good song. I should point out that, according to NBC News, Damon Jones, who has been arrested by the FBI in connection
got soup thrown in his face
with the charges being announced today, there is no indication that he is tied to bets on games he played, according to two sources familiar with the matter. No matter what Zaslow is claiming about a turnover 20 years ago with 90 seconds left in the game.
We were up by 2. We were about to go to the finals. Just give it a Shaq. You got Shaq. Give it a Shaq.
He was an underachiever. There's an update in the ABC News article that says Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier and former Cleveland Cavaliers player and assistant coach Damon Jones were also charged in separate but related illegal gambling case. They're among 6 people charged Thursday with turning professional basketball into a criminal gambling operation by using inside information to place unlawful wagers. So while not necessarily betting themselves on games that they played in, this does sort of tie to what you're talking about, Dan, which is who knows who you have debt to and what you then need to turn these games into.
I understand that it's more regulated than it's ever been, and I would also say it's just as hard to regulate as it's ever been, because the more normal it gets, the less wrong people think it is. And those people wear uniforms, and those people have debt, and those people have competition problems, and those people have their own addictions, and those people have a lack of awareness, and some of them are going to get arrested for doing the wrong things. When you have more regulation and more normalization that requires what is presently happening for people to realize what the consequences are of what they're actually doing. Because I assure you, Michael Vick wasn't the only one fighting dogs. But I bet you it lessened after that, when everyone realized how wrong it was to fight dogs. Gambling isn't this kind of wrong. Gambling is now a super normal thing.
Yeah, the NCAA just said that players and coaches can do this.
Beginning November 1st, players in the NCAA can gamble on pro games, not college games. They still can't gamble on college games.
Yeah, I've been gambling since I was 18, and I did so in
Good
a
for
state,
you.
and I did so in a state where I could. I probably shouldn't be saying that, but
you shouldn't.
I'm not. Maybe I'm jaded. I don't think there's really a huge influx in gambling just because you see ads for DraftKings or you see it courtside. I really don't. I think the people that are gambling to this level in these sports have access to all that stuff and always have. And I just don't think it's more prevalent. I think more dumb people are doing it. We've seen a lot in the state of Iowa when it comes to their college football teams. A lot of people don't understand how these league partners share data, and so you're having a lot of small fish. But I think the big fish, the card games, the guys trying to get one less rebound in a game, I think that's been happening way longer than most people would like to admit.
Are you indeed seeking counsel to sue whom? Who are you suing? The Miami Heat, Terry Rozier, the NBA?
Yeah, who do we come after?
Who are you suing for what your experience as a Heat fan has been? Look, I heard no one in the country as sour on the Miami Heat trading for Terry Rozier as you were. In fact, I'm pretty sure that you left the Miami Heat in many of the similar ways that you left the Cleveland Browns because they acquired Terry Rozier. You were so upset that they acquired such a wildly inefficient player that you have said that it is that he is the least popular player in Heat history, according to you, and they've never made a transaction that has hurt you more personally than signing Terry Rozier. So what you're really celebrating today is not just the release from the Terry Rozier imprisonment, not just the salary cap space. It's also one of Mike's favorite things, which is just being right.
Oh, yeah, it's the best. Oh, I shorted this stock long ago. And as someone that has been screaming at his television, that person should be in jail for years on end. This is a dream come true, quite honestly. You love it when the bad guys get caught.
I'm telling you, I'm happy for you that you're able to get your joy back, but then there's another side of this, where it was one of the worst nights of my life at that time. The Miami Heat had never been to an NBA Finals. They were ahead with 2 minutes left. And look at this, Dan. I remember it clear as day. there it is. Damon Jones. The Heat were ahead by 2, just like I said.
That was indeed a playoff score in 2005.
They were ahead by
82.
They were ahead by 2 with 2 minutes left in Game 7, and Damon Jones just threw the ball to Shaq. Look at that. He threw the ball away. Something was up. Now I know.
And you know who else was playing in this game?
Who?
Chauncey Billups. Oh. Got to overturn that result.
Time to throw away all journalistic credibility and get reckless. Here is something we like to call reckless speculation.
I knew it.
Hold on
You're
a
good.
second. Hold on a second. You got to wait for Roy's "you're good" before you
Look, Tim Donaghy, 06, Dwayne Wade's free throws. We're even now.
Knew it.
We were jobbed.
Damon Jones makes that bad pass at 2 minutes, 2 seconds. Tayshaun Prince steals the ball. Richard
got
Hamilton.
Shaq.
Richard Hamilton makes a 3-foot jumper 5 seconds later.
And 20 years later, the Heat acquire Terry Rozier. Look, I know 06 was controversial, but we've paid for it in droves.
So you're alleging that Terry Rozier should be arrested today for being a crime against basketball?
Yes, just for his field goal percentage. I think that's one of the charges. We'll see when the great KP talks.
Put it on the
later
poll
today.
at Le Batard Show. I do love that the guy arresting them is named Cash.
Yeah, the podcaster. He works hard.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Should Terry Rozier be arrested for his field goal percentage? And also put on the poll, should Terry Rozier be arrested first for being a crime against basketball, one of many felony counts?
There are so many things popping up. It's going to be like whack-a-mole, but I do want to follow the vine that Zaz established. Hell of a year for Adam Silver.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
A lot of trust in him.
the NBA... A lot of this fell on Shams because Shams reported just the news that the NBA cleared Terry Rozier of any wrongdoing. And now the FBI has arrested Terry Rozier for wrongdoing. The NBA investigated this. Piss poor investigation, it would seem, just reading the game as we see it this morning. The NBA has a lot of tough questions to answer yet again. It just keeps getting worse for Adam Silver.
This is why I have no faith in Adam Silver doing anything about Kawhi Leonard.
No.
I have no faith.
No, Kawhi's probably a little nervous because, here comes the overcorrection.
The real question is, should Damon Jones be arrested for not passing a Shaq?
I'm telling you, Dan. I remembered it. How do I remember it almost 20 years later? Like it was yesterday. I knew something was fishy. I knew it.
But Dan, the Adam Silver conversation, because before this we were saying he's gone from the regarded as the best commissioner in sports to the worst of the major sports. And hold my beer, we just got way worse than ever.
The storyline on this is easy to track, right? David Stern was going to be very difficult to replace. You never follow the guy
What a commissioner.
who is the guy. David Stern never behaved as if he worked for the owners. It always felt like the owners had to behave because of how David Stern was behaving. It made him different from most commissioners not named Kennesaw Mountain Landis. Like most commissioners have been pushovers for a long time, pretending like the owners aren't in charge while everyone knows that the owners are in charge. David Stern handed that over to Silver. We were going to have a lot of questions. And the first thing Silver does is win public opinion during the time by taking an owner's team immediately. And it isn't because Adam Silver is such a great commissioner. It's because all the other owners were already embarrassed by Donald Sterling and wanted him out for an assortment of other reasons. And so what looked like a hard decision that was made swiftly was actually an easy decision that was made over a long period of time, and that was the last drop in the bucket. So that's where Adam Silver got best and most progressive commissioner in the league. And since then, the league has had a number of different difficulties, but if you were measuring this the way that you measure Goodell, you'd say Silver's a great commissioner because he makes the league a lot of money, but that's not the way you do it with Silver. For some reason, that's not the way you do it with Silver. The league feels like it's got a lot of different problems, but one of the problems it doesn't have is money. That's not a problem. They've got all sorts of new revenue streams. The thing that he's going to have to...
Malik Beasley's fate also hinges on this Department of Justice announcement that is coming later today, according to Pablo Torre. And that Malik Beasley was previously investigated and cleared by the NBA. As we know, that doesn't mean jack anymore. For making a bet or two in another sport. Pablo goes on to cite a source that says the NBA is under strict confidentiality, but you can't control what the government releases.
Terry Rozier has earned over $133 million in his 10-year career. His current Heat contract is $26.6 million. To the point you guys were making about the fact that gambling is more normalized, and you know that we think that DraftKings is the greatest partner we've ever had by leaps and bounds. The regulation of these things make it so that we know the following, and it becomes hard to explain why the NBA cleared Rozier on what I'm about to say. The original detail on the Rozier reporting, which is a professional bettor placed 30 wagers in 46 minutes, all involving Terry Rozier in a 2023 game.
Dude's got a problem.
Oh, that's the problem, is that he had too much information and he knew he was going to win. Like, you don't make that many bets on just Terry Rozier unless you've got inside information. That's the thing. When you guys say this is more regulated than it's ever been, that kind of information is more available to the leagues than it's ever been, which becomes the question, how did the league clear Terry Rozier? How did Shams report that the league cleared Terry Rozier and there were no follow-up questions until now? In 30 minutes, there's going to be a press conference where Kash Patel answers a bunch of follow-up questions.
I mean, because the commissioner of the league is the same one who said he's never heard of aspiration. I mean, that's how.
I'd like some answers to questions. They're usually not quite as simple as the knee-jerk reaction you can have moments after partial information has arrived.
I could connect the dots.
It's not the most journalistic of things to do, the connecting of dots, but it's all we have at the moment until a half hour from now they give us some more information on dots connected. Will we have the unprecedented situation where we break in live to should we do this? Should we just break in live to an FBI director's press conference about sports because it involves a Miami Heat player? The Miami Heat are going to be fun to watch. They're going to play. That is the fastest game I've ever seen the Heat play. Like the Miami Heat have never played a game faster than the one they played last night. That is the fastest recorded game in the history of the Miami Heat. Only the Raptors and Hawks have played a faster game this year.
It was electric. They scored 39 points in the first quarter. I think that's the second most they've ever scored in a first quarter of an opening game. And the pace, like they made the Magic play at their pace, a team that's defensive oriented. And they were just running all night. Simone Fontecchio with 13 points running in the open court. It was a lot of fun to watch. And Davion Mitchell, like 11 assists because he's just passing the ball up the court. Norman Powell, it was a lot of fun to watch. Yes, they lost by 4.
You mentioned that it was
I
a lot
had
of
fun.
to watch.
It was really fun for me to watch. They lost by 40 in game 1 to the Magic last year. They lost by 4 last night.
The Magic are good.
Magic are real good.
Jaime Jaquez as your point guard in crunch time minutes, though, is not a good feeling.
The game was fun, but they got swept in the playoffs last year. They lost all of their preseason games. And they lost last night. Like, I like them to win a game sometimes.
That would be fun. That'd be more
A lot
fun.
of consecutive losses. Like, let's mix in a win.
They're going to play fast, and I believe they will be a playoff team. But they're going to have trouble at the end of games. So many of these games are decided late, and everybody stops running at the end of the game. Like toward the end of the game, you're not allowed to run around like that.
That is where Tyler Hero will help. He is their best half-court player, and last night they don't have him. Jaime Jaquez is out there, like Chris said, running the offense, and to have both Norman Powell and Tyler Hero available to you, Norman Powell's really good. And having an opportunity to really be the man here for the first few weeks will be great for him. But he was a borderline all-star last year, and having another all-star guard next to him offensively will be helpful at the end of the games. It doesn't mean they'll necessarily come through with all of them.
Dan, I got a text from my father last night. He likes to text me during the games local teams play. I got a text from my father last night at 7:36 p.m., and all it says is, I don't know any of the Heat players.
I'm watching the coverage of this. This is, I mean, you understand why. It's rocked the sporting world. I'm telling you, though, like, you got your eyes on Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups when in 2002, do you have your eyes on Marist versus Ryder? Because in college, this shit was always happening. Always. Like, you would see it on the blogs, you would see it on message boards, and now whether or not it played out that way, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But there has been people fixing basketball games in particular forever, and I'm glad that we know about it now.
Like, forget the individual
college
sports.
hoops in particular, that is a cesspool of being fixed.
But basketball's the easiest of the major team sports, right?
Yeah.
You can just get one player. That's why. You can affect the game more directly. I suppose you can get a pitcher in baseball, but it's easier to fix basketball games because you just have to get in bed with one player. And so Mike's not wrong when he says that this has been a normal thing since the Black Sox scandal in 1919, where you can have compromised athletes who are in debt. I've told you the story before. Travis Henry, the Buffalo Bills running back, had, I'm going to say, 8 children and had a very short career span. So what happens when he leaves the NFL and has gotten used to that lifestyle? He gets caught for selling an enormous amount of drugs because there's no other way to make giant amounts of money. You know how there is? Play a giant poker game. Play games where the gambling stakes are one flip of a card means a ton of money. But then when you get debt, you get an arrest. And I don't know the details, obviously, on Chauncey Billups. I don't know how. He could just be having fun poker games because he, as a coach, makes $4 million a year, and it's just a lot of fun. But everywhere there can be a debt in one of these games if you're playing against mafia guys that you think are your friends, where next thing you know, you're underwater and you didn't even know you were swimming. You didn't know you were swimming, and all of a sudden you're drowning.
I'm going to try to paint a picture where, like, one of the reports is inside information. and this is all just theorizing and conjecture, right? But you're at a poker game. Someone asks you, "What do you think about the Nuggets?" Well, Jokic has an ankle thing that most people don't know about. Boom, inside information. It could be like that. It could be used like that.
Well, more to the point, I would say that the best of professional gamblers, not the sloppy ones, but the ones who know how to make it a business and the ones who know how to make it an occupation, they traffic in information. It's the most valuable thing. Inside information is the most valuable thing when you're talking about a half point buys you victory. A half a point is all you need as an advantage when you're a professional gambler to be on the right side of winning. The information brokering that goes on in sports, I don't need to explain to anybody why Chauncey Billups can't be in a poker game with mafia members, right? Why the coach of an NBA team can't be in a poker game with mafia members.
Well, also, we got to find out, do they introduce themselves as that? Like, hello, what do you do for a living? I'm in a criminal enterprise.
I just got to throw in, like, you're Chauncey Billups, because you're right, everything you just said. How stupid can you be? How stupid are you? I mean, seriously.
I can see where a game of poker that you show up at don't necessarily know who's at it, what they do.
You don't want to know who's at a super high-stakes poker game you're about to show up at?
I think the whole idea is you're not supposed to.
But it doesn't cross your mind that maybe, is it possible these are bad people? Because, I'm an NBA head coach. Oh, how stupid can you be?
I get it. A lot of this stuff is an IQ test. But again, it's especially dumb in the pros. It is because of how regulated this thing is. But in college, where baked into the sport is half the time, what kind of shot is that? What is this kid doing? They're all developing. So, like college basketball, like I said, cesspool.
They're not all developing. Some of them are G leaguers now in college basketball.
Where's the line on this? Because I had a $20 buy-in at my house like 2 weeks ago. Am I good?
Jail.
You're good. No,
Okay. No.
Where's it's straight to jail?
Jail.
Yeah.
Where's the line?
Sounds like you just draw snitched, playa.
$20 buy-in, 5 people, $100. Come on, what are we doing here?
No, small claims.
Well, that is an illegal game, though.
That's what I mean. Where's the line?
Well, that's illegal, but I guess, though.
Why don't you keep talking? We'll find out.
Yeah.
Hope your name isn't called in 30 minutes.
I would assume.
Am I in trouble?
I wonder,
Yeah.
Journalistically, I've told you guys before, the rules on this have probably changed, but there was a time in my life where I was not allowed to take anything that had more than a $25 value. Like, I could take a bag from you, and that wasn't compromising my integrity.
Hey, yo. Or should I say, yeah, yo?
But not anything that's worth over $25. I'm going to say that a $20 buy-in is so pathetic that the authorities would not be concerned in any ways. I'm going to say that
That's what Chauncey did.
this is what I'm saying.
With mean people.
I'm saying there are people who have dedicated their lives to monkhood and religion who are laughing at how small time a game you're playing.
It's true. Like
Maybe it was bigger, and I'm afraid.
I was worried that I revealed, like, hey, in the state of Florida, I sent a couple Western Unions when I was 19 years old. They care about money made. We got to arrest this guy for losing $7,000 over the course of 10 years.
Get my friend Joey.
Okay, so you guys think that minorities are safe to commit small crimes in today's America, do you?
No, they can't fish, apparently.
If you think that they won't get you on federal wire fraud across state lines for something you admitted to.
Whoa. Easy. Don't pay me like that. Again, everything that I say here can't be taken seriously. I am a character.
What do you mean again? That's the first time you're revealing that.
I am a character.
Wait a minute. Since when do you reveal that?
My name isn't even Mike.
Hold on a second. Oh, my God. This is infuriating right here. Let me explain. Let me see what I have here. I have to have something
I'm saying this on the record.
that penalizes this.
Pick anything.
Concentrate.
I am playing a role.
No, you can't explain the show that way, though.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes. Tremenda, Cagason.
Translation?
I mean, that wasn't the right button to hit. Tremenda Cagazón is tremendous shit show, but here we go.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes for explaining the show.
I don't know why you're starting your sentence with, again, I'm a character. You've never before revealed you're a character.
We can't lose another cast member.
Amin just fled the premises. Like Pablo just took him. Amin was here to do the show with us today. I wanted to talk about Inside the NBA. They didn't change it. ESPN left it alone. Good.
How about Barkley?
Very skinny.
Very. Are you a little worried?
Needs new suits?
Okay.
Does he plan on going bigger again? Because he just had his suit is just too big. Like he's rich. You'd think for opening night he'd get a suit that fits, but
you guys have him as too skinny here? You have him as too fit?
Look, it's like blousy. I'd call that suit.
It's got to be hard to fluctuate by 100 pounds, and you're not going to have all of the same right-fitting suits. But you're right that on the first opening night, he should have one that fits correctly.
Did he do Ozempic?
Yes.
Okay.
No, Majerno, the other one. There are 10 of them now.
Is that an exclusive report? Do you happen to know?
Oh, my God. Did I just reveal something I wasn't supposed to?
Happens to know?
I think I just
Great
did.
Scott, he happens to know. He happens to know. Gather everyone. Get the children. He happens to know.
Hey, what's up, Le Batard fans? It's your girl, Roz Goldonwede, with the Good Follow Show. And yes, I am in my kimono pajamas because this week we had our first ever pajama show. But our show was anything but sleepy. We discussed the Portland Fire naming their first head coach. And we react. Nneka Ogwumike, she was denied to compete for Team Nigeria at the Olympics yet again. And we dive in deep with Angel McCautry joining me. You can catch our show wherever you get your podcasts, wherever you stream them. We drop Tuesdays, we drop Thursdays, we do women's basketball, women's sports, all the things. Come kick it with us. We'd love to see you there.
Take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets. Great slate this week. I'm bummed that Jaden Daniels isn't playing against the Kansas City Chiefs on Monday night. But a lot of good games out there. My Bucks at New Orleans get me to the bye. Amazing NFL tickets on the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code DAN. Get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Swipe, tap, ticket, go.
We have a lot going on here today. Amin has been pulled out because he's got to get to New York to help Pablo because we've got a breaking story in the NBA that has echoing ramifications. Because Amin has left, Tony has sped in, and he has rushed in to tell us that everything the FBI is doing is total bullshit.
It's absolute bullshit. And the guy behind me, instead of doing the most important things and figuring out the things we actually want, is going after what the government wants more than anything, is a cut of illegal gambling, okay? That's the only reason they're in here doing anything at all, is because they want to cut. If they were in Vegas and everything was okay, or in New Jersey or whatever, wouldn't be an issue. But now, since it's happening all across the places that they can't get their paws on, now they want a piece of it.
Classic reliever right there. Comes in throwing 102.
It's the players and the coaches being involved.
It's 102. He comes, but also he's got some breakfast in his mouth.
Yeah,
he's late. He's making reckless accusations.
I mean, late. I mean, late is objective.
That don't have information in them, just a whole
Late
lot.
is objective?
Yeah.
Subjective. Late is objective. It's empirical. You're late. You're an hour late. It's not subjective. David Sampson's always on time. Nothing Personal is the name of his podcast. Can you give me some informed information as opposed to Tony just coming in and saying the government wants a cut of Rozier's salary?
They do.
I can tell you right now that what Adam Silver is doing is he is trying to figure out how to get messaging to the teams about what they need to be saying, because the Heat, the Trailblazers, and other teams are going to have a reaction. He's speaking to the union right now because he needs to put Terry Rozier out. He'll be on administrative leave the way MLB puts its players away, like Emmanuel Clase. The Heat will not be having him on the roster, but he will still get paid. The Trailblazers have to announce that they have a new coach ready to go tomorrow for their game against the Warriors. Then all of this has to be, they're watching the 10 a.m. live like we are, but they're working on releases that will be ready certainly by early afternoon because action will have to be taken today. It's a bad day for Adam Silver, but that's what he's doing right now. He's not focused on investigating Rozier. He's coming up with talking points to address what to do currently and then how to answer the question of, hey, your investigators found nothing. What did you miss? What process did you do that you look back on as being wrong? But that he will not answer today.
What's your best theory there on what happened? How does the NBA clear Terry Rozier when, among other details, there was a gambler who placed 30 wagers in 46 minutes on exclusively Terry Rozier? What can Adam Silver say that isn't just total incompetence or cover-up as it regards them just clearing Terry Rozier?
Yeah, what you say is that given the information we had at the time, we always tell you that things can change. Like the way he's talked about the Clippers and aspiration. He'll give you a thought with today, but with Pablo dripping and drabbing out more information, he has the right to change his mind. And that's what he's going to say about Rozier. Hey, given where we were then, this is what our decision was, and we were right. Since then, it's come to our attention that the following happened. Had we known then what we know now, clearly he would not have been cleared.
David, you can't go from clearing somebody to he's arrested in Orlando while he's on,
by the FBI.
You can't go from he's cleared to the first game of the season somewhere near the bench. He's being let off in handcuffs.
Well, first of all, he has a hamstring injury. He was not let off the bench in handcuffs. I assume they went to the team hotel. 2, you can absolutely have new facts that come up when you're making decisions running your company, which you're not doing anymore. But if you were, do you not agree that certain things change that lead you to make different decisions today that you would have made yesterday.
Yeah.
That is very normal in the business world.
Yes, but it just doesn't generally rise to the level of federal arrests.
Oh, I think that's exactly the level that it always rises to, because the federal ability to investigate, remember the NBA, no subpoena powers. You don't have to talk to the NBA investigators or MLB Department of Investigations. When the federal government asks you a question, you have to answer. Now, you can invoke the Fifth Amendment, be my guest, enjoy, but they have the right to compel you to testify. There are grand juries who are seated to look at evidence in a way that the leagues don't do with their Department of Investigations. It's a totally different level of scrutiny. So Adam Silver, that's the least of his issues, to be asked by people like you, hey, how stupid were you that you cleared Terry Rozier? That is not the question. The question is going forward. He'll answer it, but the question going forward is, what do we do to work better with the FBI, better with the gambling companies who are our partners, to give comfort to our customers, like you said in the first hour, comfort that the integrity has not dropped even an iota.
Before we go to the press conference that is scheduled for 10 a.m. Eastern with the head of the FBI, Kash Patel, and they're going to make a dog and pony show out of this. Can you give me the history of dog and pony show, please? I'd like to know when those were popular in America and if they did indeed include dogs and ponies, and if the ponies had tricks. I want to know a little more about a dog and pony show.
Westminster Dog Show is still pretty popular.
The origins of dog and pony I want to know, but I want to know from expert David Sampson. These are two different, if you're just joining us, two different arrests, two different investigations. One on Terry Rozier has to do with the games themselves. The one with Portland head coach Chauncey Billups has to do reportedly with a poker game that reportedly involved the mafia. Given the information we presently have, David, explain to me how problematic the Chauncey Billups story is.
It's a big break for the NBA that it's poker. That is for sure. When you see Chauncey Billups arrested, the first thing you're thinking of, Pete Rose. Did he bet on games that he coached? So immediately you got word, no, this was not him betting on games that his team was involved in. Phew. Next, did he bet on other games, NBA games? Okay, no. Did he bet on other sports? No. It turns out he was playing poker. Yeah, he was playing with Tony Montana. And yes, it's possible he was playing at numbers that would make, you sweat. But the reality is Adam Silver is super psyched. Chauncey Billups is done. He's not going to coach again. Finished. However, with what it could have been, Adam Silver is whistling Dixie out of his tuchus right now that his coach was only involved in poker.
And why is the FBI there, David? Because they wanted a cut of the action. That's the only reason.
What?
Just to be clear, well, you're saying
illegal poker games? We've got bigger fish to fry, Kash Patel, than illegal poker games happening in Portland, okay?
The FBI can do more than one thing at once, Tony, I promise.
That doesn't seem like it.
Well, okay. You're saying that what he's saying is ridiculous, but I want you to just examine what it is. Well, that's what he's saying. He's saying that what you're saying is ridiculous.
And I would say that's ridiculous.
Well, what he said that was ridiculous is that Adam Silver got information, and he got information on Chauncey Billups. And initially he thought, I hope this isn't games. And then when he found out it was merely a poker game with the mafia, he bent over and out his ass came a song that was Whistling Dixie. That's far more ridiculous than what it is that you allege, which is a happiness so great that song came from his rectum.
So I spoke to NBA sources this morning already, and before we knew what Chauncey Billups was, we went through the level of the issue that could be in front of us. The top level is betting against your team while you're coaching. Betting for your team while you're coaching is right below it. Betting against or for other teams that games you're not involved in, below that. Betting illegally on sports that's not basketball, below that. We didn't even put poker on the list.
Guys, again, we don't know the information shared at this poker games, which, according to the reporting, and I can only assume, that part will be covered in today's press conference. I don't think it's a poker game. We have no idea what kind of inside information, that's a direct quote from these articles, was shared. I imagine a head coach in the NBA is privy to all sorts of inside information that gamblers would love about the state of the entire league, not just their team. They play in divisions. They know all these teams like the back of their hand. They do scouting. There's a lot of inside information and insight that you can get.
Also, betting on your team to win should be legal, by the way. Just put that out there.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Should betting on your team to win?
I want them to win. I'm going to
be legal. Did you get me some information on Dog and Pony Show, please?
Get some skin in the game.
I do exactly right. Like we're all in this together. All right, Dan. Dog and pony shows come from small traveling circuses in the 1800s and vaudeville acts where dog and ponies would literally do tricks, jump through hoops, pull little things, dance, do certain things like that. Basically, a smaller traveling circus for people that were out in the country that couldn't get to big cities to see circuses.
You know about those vaudeville acts?
I had one yesterday here.
Babe Ruth.
I do know something about vaudeville acts. Greg Cody knows a great deal more. I also am ashamed to say that in Amsterdam one time I walked into a pony show without knowing it was a pony show, and it was not a dog and pony show, and I regretted it as soon as I got there.
Ooh, I've been to some good shows in Amsterdam.
Were there ping pong balls involved?
Yeah, there were actually. There were.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah! Really? Look at him. Look at the
Hey,
smile.
those are good shows.
Add it to the cash list.
Look at him. Look at this degenerate. Look at this deviant. Look at how radiant he is thinking about ping pong balls flying across a room on some sort of sex show in Amsterdam. Go ahead and focus. Get closer and closer on his face so you guys can see how deviant and disgusting David Sampson really is when he thinks about floating ping pong balls at a pony show.
Let me go one better. Let me go better when you're at a show with a guy with Parkinson's and they choose that guy to be the one to try to shoot a dart at. And you're thinking to yourself, well, wait a minute, do they give goggles? Is it possible that my main man is going to lose an eye? That's when you know you're living.
So Michael J. Fox?
His best friend, he raises a lot of money for Parkinson's. It does not mean he's appropriate. He greets that best friend all the time with what's shaking, and it's not appropriate.
Oh, no.
All right. David, you mentioned that Adam Silver's butthole was whistling Dixie. I'm not so sure. What is he hearing from his bosses, the other owners in the league? They cleared Terry Rozier in their investigation.
Yeah,
right?
let me point out two things,
This
Mike.
is really, really bad for Adam Silver.
So I would point out that, yes, clearing Terry Rozier, it's not perfect. Having the Steve Ballmer investigation going on, it's not perfect. Don't forget, Adam Silver was really at the forefront of not wanting gambling to be legalized. Adam Silver did op-ed pieces trying to stop it. As recently as a few days ago, Adam Silver was on the air talking about, hey, can we ease up on the prop bet thing? So Adam Silver has really put himself in a position to not look very good here. But you brought up a point that is true, which is if we hear at 10 o'clock that Chauncey Billups was in debt at a poker game, mafia related, and instead of giving up his Rolex, he instead gave up the fact that he will make sure that Greg Oden doesn't get 5 rebounds. Then
Greg Oden.
He's just
The last time he paid attention to the Trailblazers.
Jesus, Greg Oden.
Bonzi Wells.
he mentored Arvydas Sabonis. Keep it moving.
Can you just keep it moving, Dan?
Greg Oden, I'm pretty sure his career ended before Chauncey Billups started.
Guys, we all got Dale Davis over 7.5 boards. Let's continue.
I couldn't think of a current
It's okay.
Trailblazer
It's okay.
immediately. This is not scripted. We're all getting the news quickly. If Chauncey Billups, Mike, is giving up that information, that is a whole different story. That rises above the level of actually betting against your own team that you're coaching. That is the fifth rail of the third rails. But I we'll see what the FBI says. But to me, if that's why Chauncey Billups was arrested, that's very different, Mike. And then Adam Silver will not be whistling Dixie. He will be shooting darts.
I know, especially recently, which seems like there's a Department of Justice or FBI press conference for the sake of having them, for catching attention. And some of these times, people are left saying, that's pretty flimsy. What's the intention here? There are a lot of illegal poker games that go on throughout the nation that people are aware of, just like there was all sorts of illegal gambling on sports books that, technically were illegal, not even technically, but you're not going to get pinched for sending, $500 to 5 dimes, But I would imagine for him to be arrested, to be trotted out, even admitting that these things have been flimsy lately, there's got to be something pretty substantial.
What are you
to it.
expecting here, David? What are the best case and worst case scenario? What is the lowest thing that's going to happen? What's the highest thing that's going to happen? And what is earned skepticism that Kash Patel deserves today because he's going to try to put on a show and politicize everything?
Well, I hear you, but this is not really about politics to me, because you go back in the celebrity poker games and they try to bust them. They try to bust the celebrity prostitution rings. You try to do anything where you can have a name, high name recognition, because it's really good for business if you're the FBI. And it's not really a Trump issue or an Obama issue. It's always been that with law enforcement. You're always looking to take down. It's what immunity is granted for, so little guys can sing to big guys, because that is how it works institutionally. So what would be the biggest thing? Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups? It's good. I mean, it's fine, but it's not like, hey, Victor Wembanyama, and I'm not throwing his name because he's so good and God knows, but there are different levels, and above that, the celebrities with poker, Tobey Maguire, Ben Affleck, all of those guys, it just attracts attention. So what would be the number one thing? It's happening now. You have sports shows talking about it. You've got Fox and CNN reaching out because they want to talk about it. This is crossing all aisles because it is sports. But for me, what he announces in 4 minutes, live at 10 a.m., depending on when you're listening to this or watching on the DraftKings Network, is he going to say that Terry Rozier bet on Miami Heat? Is he going to say that he knew about the prop bets on himself and then his performance reflected that? Is he going to say Chauncey Billups played cards with bad guys, or that he actually gave information to bad guys?
Look, I don't think, David, I don't think it's possible. Again, I'm speculating because it's 3 minutes from now. I don't believe that you throw Chauncey Billups into this particular cesspool where you cost him his job and his name on the same day, unless there's something here beyond he was playing in poker games. Like even playing in poker games with shady characters. My guess is there has to be something here. If you're going to smear this man who's got, to date, he's got an impeccable reputation. Chauncey Billups
does not. That's not accurate, actually. If you look, there was an opportunity. I had to wait to see that he would actually not end up coaching one game with the Trailblazers. He does not have an impeccable reputation. But anyway, I don't want to bother you. Go ahead.
Jeremy, give me the sexual assault.
The stuff that was
paid off, Jeremy.
That's all right there. I can give you updates on the details in just a moment. But
The
yes,
allegations.
there was an allegation against him from a night in 1997. There was evidence that matched up with what that allegation was. There were no charges. I will go from there.
Okay. Forgive me. It's not an impeccable reputation because Chauncey Billups, before he was hired as Portland coach, it did come up that he had a case in, I believe, in 1997. But if you're going to get to the point where this is something that you're doing to Chauncey Billups or anyone like him with similar name, it's not going to just be poker game with mafia members. There's got to be something else here.
I'm happy to get into the conversation, but why would we? Because we're going to find out. Like, there's no reason to speculate. What we can talk about is what will happen once Patel is done with this, and that is what the NBA has to do by this afternoon, no later than the end of the day today, because the Trailblazers need a coach for tomorrow against the Warriors, and it's not going to be Billups. That is a real
Well, you say his
action
job
item.
is done right now, right? You say his job is over today, the moment the arrest happens.
Today. It is absolutely done. He will never coach another game in the NBA.
I mean, just
Hard
imagine.
Stop.
NBA coaches are required to talk to the media every day, several times a day. Yeah, Blazers, you can't put him in front of the media every day. But let's get to the real issue at hand here, David. Are the Miami Heat going to ask the league for salary cap relief? Go ahead.
The answer is that this has happened before. When you have a player who is going to be suspended, they're not going to get that relief right now because they're going to keep paying Rozier, but they're going to appeal for it. And if you're the NBA, I would not grant the relief to the Miami Heat. There is no reason to grant it. And it is something that in a collective bargaining agreement needs to be dealt with. Baseball, it's happening right now in the new CBA negotiations. What do you do with players who are on administrative leave They're not helping your team. You're still paying them. Investigations can take a year, and it counts towards your luxury tax, and they're not even helping your team. So that has to be dealt with, and it's an issue that should be. Listen, these arrests keep happening. These suspensions keep happening. It's no longer something that we think about could happen. This is real right now, and it will be negotiated with the union.
A couple of things from last night's action on the court. Wemby, 40 points, 15 rebounds, 0 turnovers. That's a tough line. That's a tough line. 40 points, 15 rebounds, 0 turnovers. He has announced that the league is his for the taking. I think we may have seen the end of Joel Embiid.
He's the worst player in the league, Dan.
He looks pretty cooked, and VJ Edgecombe looks kind of
Bimini,
awesome.
stand up.
Bimini, stand up. What do you know about Bimini, buddy?
I know about Bimini.
You know about Bimini?
I love Bimini.
I know about Bimini.
I want to go to Bimini again.
And the most important news of any kind, basketball related, beyond the Pablo Torre finds out division, the video has surfaced of Michael Jordan hitting the free throw. He gave a 1-hour interview to Mike Tirico that I'm assuming Peacock will use for the next 10 years to give us insights into excellence with the 1 hour they got with Michael Jordan. And the video has surfaced of him doing a dog and pony show for the owner of the Ryder Cup's kid.
You can't break this line until it hits the rim. That's a Wilt Chamberlain. Lord have mercy. Please make it.
Yeah! Yeah!
I was so skeptical of that story, and everything he said was right. He seemed nervous. He swished it. I was wrong. I'm sorry for doubting you.
Goat.
You wanted to puncture the myth of Michael Jordan. He stepped right up there. He limped away like a 60-year-old man, but he nailed that free throw.
He did say, Lord have mercy.
Didn't even need the rim. Didn't need anything but net. Your thoughts there, David, as the video has now surfaced. The truth is that the myth is real. He is a legend forevermore. The owner of the Ryder Cup made him take a free throw.
It's not the owner of the Ryder Cup. What do you mean? Who owns the Ryder Cup?
Michael Jordan owns it now.
It's
Jeff Ryder.
Ryder Cup Esquire.
It's a joke. It's a thing I got wrong yesterday that has become a joke today. But a rich person asked Michael Jordan to take free throws. He did. Chris, are you ready? Kash Patel is going to be in front of microphones in a second. Are we expecting any more news? It's only going to be Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups. There aren't going to be more names
Let's
here.
guess
are
who
they?
else. Let's guess.
All right. Tell me, Chris, when we're ready to go to this press conference, because he's going to shuffle in front of microphones here, and this story is going to be developing. I'm sure David Sampson covered it well on Nothing Personal. What can you tell me, David, else that you find interesting here? Because the Billups story is larger than the Rozier story, correct? Even though the Billups story is not game integrity. The Billups story is not about the product on the court necessarily with a player with a basketball in his hands.
Yeah, we don't know. If it's just plain poker, then I don't view it that way. If it is giving information to people at a poker game, then of course it's bigger because it's a coach. It's one of 30 coaches. So that is why this press conference is so important that we're trying to maybe look at and get live. But what does he lead with? That is the interesting way. If he's got 6 names to release, it's sort of like releasing the nominees for Oscar. They wait Best Picture for last. Do you lead with your best, or do you go with the Drek first?
You think there's going to be more names? You
one?
think that only Rozier and Billups have leaked out, and there are going to be more names in a few minutes?
I believe that is what we just heard live on the air from you. I thought
it was
that you
reported
just said
6 names. Yes, by ABC News. They said that those were 2 of 6 names that were going to be.
But bigger names. Well, I'm assuming.
I don't know about bigger.
I'm assuming that if 2 have leaked out, maybe I've got this wrong in the way I'm doing the assumptions. If 2 have leaked out, if there were bigger names, those are the ones that would have leaked out.
Well, and the first 2 names, by the way, of the 6 that it mentioned in the specific paragraph, that was Damon Jones and Terry Rozier. Billups was not technically a part of the paragraph that said there are 6 names. So we'll find out in moments, but that's where this all at least begins.
I think you got to hold on to the big one. I think you don't leak. The leak comes from the DOJ. It gets attention to 10 a.m. It gets people talking about it before, pregame, during game, after game. But I think that my view and this is sort of what I learned from Pablo, if you've got something big, like really big, hold it, maximum leverage, hold it, and then drop it like it's hot. And I assume that's what Cash is going to do.
I do not assume that. I do not assume that we would get partial information to just tease us, and then they're going to hit us with some sort of bombshell. You think there's something bigger than Coach Chauncey Billups? Because I don't.
This is great. This is a binary thing, although we could argue, is Damon Jones bigger than Chauncey Billups? And the answer will be no to that.
No one's arguing that.
I'll give you plus 200.
You think let's go around the room here. Let's bet here. Let's have a high stakes game here that the federal government cannot get.
No more than $20.
You're betting, David, that there's something more seismic than Chauncey Billups coming up in a few minutes. You're betting more seismic than Billups.
I'll take the more seismic side of that for $1, Alex.
The rest of you?
What are my odds for same level?
A coach.
Someone we agree.
Coach.
Someone we just agree. That's the same as Chauncey Billups. Just in terms of
I can't
fame.
get odds on that kind of thing.
Give me those odds.
It's got to be one or the other.
Come on, give me those odds.
Nah,
those are
like
juicy.
those odds.
So you think something that's going to rise to former Hall of Famer and current coach?
Shouldn't even be in the Hall of Fame.
I'll take a little plus 700 flyer on that. A little action junkie.
Been on that.
Pablo is still doing reporting on this. As we told you, Amin was supposed to be on our show. He's mobilized on his way to New York to do an episode on this. Terry Rozier's attorney has spoken and given a statement to Pablo Torre. Jeremy has it.
Jim Trusty says, we have represented Terry Rozier for over a year. A long time ago, we reached out to these prosecutors to tell them we should have an open line of communication. They characterized Terry as a subject, not a target. But at 6 a.m. this morning, they called to tell me FBI agents were trying to arrest him in a hotel. It is unfortunate that instead of allowing him to self-surrender, they opted for a photo op. They wanted the misplaced glory of embarrassing a professional athlete with a perp walk. That tells you a lot about the motivations in this case. They appear to be taking the word of spectacularly incredible, not incredible, but in-credible, sources rather than relying on actual evidence of wrongdoing. Terry was cleared by the NBA, and these prosecutors revived that non-case. Terry is not a gambler, but he is not afraid of a fight, and he looks forward to winning this fight.
This is important to note. I mean, we got eyes, we got ears. Applying scrutiny to investigations at this specific moment in time from this administration, I think that's the right thing, to apply scrutiny and allow somebody to be innocent until proven guilty.
We haven't been
unless
doing
that person is Terry Rozier.
We have not been doing that. And I will say that David just got done saying in a fairly absolute form, politics isn't here. And I'm like, it's everywhere now.
Everything.
Every single thing.
Everything that has been trotted out by the DOJ or the FBI or the speaker, it has all been either a diversionary tactic or something that has been politically motivated. Now, on the surface, this may not seem like it's that, but it gets people talking about something else, and that's why I'm saying applying scrutiny here, that might be a safe play here.
So are you saying that there's going to be someone more bigger than Chauncey or not? That was the original question.
What I'm saying is under the jail for Terry Rozier. Wow. Under the jail.
No due process?
But
no trial.
We all know he's guilty. We have eyes.
You know what? Put it on the poll. Does Terry Rozier deserve due process for his field goal percentage?
You're going to point at it. No. Exhibit A, Your Honor. 26.7% from three.
Every jury in the land would convict him.
I already told you. He didn't even try to hide it. Too many air balls.
A lot of air balls.
You know how easily you'd find a jury that has no idea what his field goal percentage is or that he doesn't shoot threes well?
They go learn.
No, it won't even be part of the case. Won't even be mentioned. Mike Ryan will not be mentioned in Terry Rozier's case. It's just not going to come up.
God, I hope so.
Okay, I want you guys to look up for me, please, because I see Damon Jones on all the televisions here, and it makes me laugh. It really makes me laugh.
Character witness for the prosecution. That guy's a bad guy. He sucks.
Every time I see Damon Jones end up on my televisions here.
You think that turnover too, right? Yeah, I know.
No, I don't think of the turnover, but I'd like for you guys to look up for me. Tony, look this up for me so that you can be truly shocked, okay, about sort of the benefits of playing with Shaq and why it is that I thought that Shaq underachieved even winning as many titles as he did. Go look at what happened to Damon Jones's numbers from three. the moment he joined Shaq's side and Shaq got all the double teams. All of a sudden, a guy who had never done anything
He
from
set the Heat
three,
record that year.
No, he was the best three-point shooter any of us have ever seen that year simply because he played with Shaq.
So the couple seasons before, so we're going to do 4 seasons before the season with Shaq, he shot 37%, 36%, 35%.
He was definitely 40% with the
Season with Shaq, 43%. Then season without Shaq, 32, 38, 41, rounding it out with Cleveland.
But how about the number of threes that he got that season?
He had over 200 that year.
He went from averaging about 3 per game to over 6 per game. So he literally doubled it, and the percentage went up by 8 percentage points.
And he decided to not give the ball to Shaq with a chance to go to the finals. I'm telling you, I knew something was fishy. Turns the ball over. We're about to go to our first ever finals, Dan.
Anything else from this story? We're going to break down here in a second and then come back live to this press conference as it opens. But is there anything else from this story, David, that you think has not been covered in the early portions of the information we have?
I just think it's important for everybody to take a beat and don't go right to this is politics. Don't go right to these guys are guilty. Don't go right to the gambling companies have a problem. The relationships with the gambling companies are a problem. Just try to take a beat and let's hear what the evidence is. Let's hear exactly what the charges are. Let's hear what next steps are. And let's be on the lookout for what Adam Silver does as it relates to Portland and Miami and the 2 players we know of already.
Found the 3-point attempts for Damon Jones in those couple of years. With the year with the Heat, he had 521 3-point attempts. The year prior, 273. The year after, 371.
How about the years before that? Like, what were the numbers before?
121, 186, 231, 91, 23, 114. The game did change right under our feet.
No, it was not yet changing. It was not changing then. It was just
after
there was
231,
one black hole in the middle of the paint.
276, 28.
Yeah, it was funny. It was funny to watch Damon Jones. Damon Jones, it was like watching Donkey with Shrek.
Got Shaq.
He had Shaq, and he took 500 threes, and now he is engulfed in this gambling probe. You think we have 3 of the 6 names so far, and one of them's Damon Jones, and you guys are betting that we're going to do better than Chauncey Billups.
I'm betting level.
I do believe that the caution you guys espouse is important because I do remind you, we went crazy for about, I'm going to say 2 hours and 30 minutes on that Shohei Ohtani story, and then it just fell, and then it just sort of disappeared. We had for a moment.
They made that one go away, Dan.
It wasn't at a convenient time for an administration under scrutiny. I mean, you should wait and see on this one.
That's no fun. I know.
I mean, you don't have to wait much longer.
We're already 12 minutes past where I thought we were going to be waiting when they said that Cash Patel was going to come out at 10 a.m.
They're starting to assemble.
Starting to mobilize there, Dano.
Yeah.
All right, let's break down here for a second and then come back. David, thank you for being on with us. Do you want to give us a movie review on your way out?
I don't think we have time.
No
we don't.
time.
Break down
Okay.
right now.
Oh, wow, they're going.
They're speaking right now.
Oh, there's so many people walking up there. All right,
break.
David, we'll talk
Shut
to you.
your mouth.
We'll talk to you next
No,
week.
don't even
Quiet,
say goodbye.
David.
Shut up.
All right, go ahead and pot it up, Chris. Let's listen to what a lot of suits in front of microphones next to Cash Patel, who's in an FBI jacket.
The person speaking right now is U.S. Attorney. Well, he's moved off for the star of the show, Cash Patel. Here we go.
Good morning. Today we are here in New York to announce a historic arrest across a wide-sweeping criminal enterprise that envelops both the NBA and La Casa Nostra. The men and women up here standing with me represent a small portion of the leadership team that brought profound justice in an era that needed it more than any. I'll just highlight some of the details in the case and the FBI work, and then you'll hear from the others. But as you now know, individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today, former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Cosa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchesi crime families. And you'll hear more about those details today. The charges and the arrests that were taken down across this country range from wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, robbery, illegal gambling. This FBI will leave no room for any perpetrator of crime across this country. You hear a lot about our work of defending the homeland and crushing violent crime. Well, this work is also representative of a colossal portion of the FBI's mandate to keep America safe and to keep our entertainment industry fair and secure. The men and women that are standing up here today worked tireless hours, days, months, and years. And the fraud is mind-boggling. It's not hundreds of dollars. It's not thousands of dollars. It's not tens of thousands of dollars. It's not even millions of dollars. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars in fraud and theft and robbery across a multi-year investigation. And we could not have done it without our interagency partners that are before us today. The NYPD, HSI, and teams of law enforcement officials from around the country made this day possible. It takes a team to bring this kind of justice, sweeping justice, into the halls of the United States courtrooms, where our brave United States attorney has led this prosecution. It takes courageous prosecutors to stand before you and say, we will not allow this kind of illicit activity to happen, not only at the national sporting level, but also where it hides in La Cosa Nostra. And when these two collided together, they perpetrated a fraud that is historic in terms of not just money, but the scheme and the deceit that they utilize to steal and swindle people from money, to include crypto fraud. This is an operation that showcases to you that under President Trump's administration, there is no room for any type of criminal behavior, be it on the world's largest stage or in the back rooms of tiny parlors where card games are being played.
They ain't got no more names.
We are proud to stand here today with the men and women of the FBI and this legal team.
Still no action.
To the United States Attorney, I just want to thank you personally for taking the time to display the work that the media is about to hear about today in detail. As I said, it does take courageous prosecutors, but it takes a courageous United States Attorney to bring this case, because we are going to take heat for it. But we don't shy away in this administration. We don't say no. What we do is we bring the results across the finish line. We bring them to the public. We bring you accountability. And yes, they will have their day in court, and you will hear the evidence through the court system exclusively. We will not deny anyone of due process. And that's the brilliance of this system. That's the brilliance of this administration. Everyone will be held to account. So with that, I turn it over to United States Attorney Nosell. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Patel. To be clear, we're announcing today indictments in two major cases, both involving fraud. One involves sports betting, and the other involves illegal gambling, very specifically rigged poker games. The first indictment involves 6 defendants who are alleged to have participated in one of the most brazen sports corruption schemes since online sports betting became widely legalized in the United States. This scheme is an insider sports betting conspiracy that exploited confidential information about National Basketball Association athletes and teams. The second indictment involves 31 defendants alleged to have participated in a nationwide scheme to rig illegal poker games. These defendants, which include former professional athletes, used high-tech cheating technology to steal millions of dollars from victims in underground poker games that were secretly fixed. The games in the New York area were backed by the Bonanno, Gambino, and Genovese crime families of La Cosa Nostra. While the cases are separate, there are 3 overlapping defendants charged in both cases: Damon Jones, Eric Ernest, and Shane Hennon. The indictments in these cases contain only allegations, and the defendants are presumed innocent until they are proven guilty in a court of law. But my message to the defendants who've been rounded up today is this. Your winning streak has ended. Your luck has run out. Violating the law
Movie
is
poster.
a losing proposition, and you can bet on that.
Yeah!
Oh, wow.
Yeah! Nailed the
First, I
dismount!
would like to talk about United States
He
versus
practiced
Ernest,
that.
Last night he was
the
practicing
NBA
that.
basketball
In
gambling
the mirror.
case. The defendants in this case are Eric Ernest,
All right, turn it down. That's
Marvez,
enough.
There will be no
Farley,
traveling.
Shane Hennon, De Niro Laster, Damon Jones, a former NBA player and coach, and Terry Rozier, a current NBA player. Other co-conspirators were previously charged for their roles in the scheme, including former NBA player Jonte Porter.
All right, go ahead and turn this down.
That's actually pretty newsy that Jonte Porter's,
2024.
associated with this.
My favorite part so far was him, Kash Patel, coming out and saying, we're not talking about hundreds of dollars like those crappy Chris Cody poker games. We are talking about tens of millions of dollars. Those are the big...
themselves out early for purported injuries or illnesses. They relied on corrupt individuals, including Jones and Rozier. They also misused information obtained through long-standing friendships that they had with NBA players and coaches. And in at least one instance, they got their information by threatening a current player, Porter, because of his pre-existing gambling debts. Defendants used this non-public information to place hundreds of thousands of dollars in fraudulent bets, mostly in the form of prop bets on individual player performance. The bets were placed through online sports books and also in person at casinos. The defendants relied on a network of straw bettors to place the maximum amount of bets to increase their potential profits. Most of these bets succeeded, and the intended losses were in the millions of dollars. The defendants then laundered their illegal winnings in various ways: peer-to-peer platforms, bank wires, and simple cash exchanges.
All right, that's enough. Those are the big crime families. They had some.
They got all the big boys, Dano.
they got some big crime families involved, and Chauncey Billups is, and I guess Damon Jones are the only new information, right? We knew that some of this was already, they didn't say anything about Malik Beasley, but we knew that some of this was already around Jonte Porter, and we knew some of this was already around Terry Rozier.
Gilbert Arenas, too, they didn't mention.
Yeah, we knew that some of this stuff was surrounding Jonte Porter, but we didn't know that there was a direct tether to Jonte Porter, which that was pretty revelatory there.
I'd like some more information about Chauncey Billups, if indeed we've just ended his coaching career and forever smeared his name. I would like some more information.
They are giving more information
talking on
the poker game aspect of this, if you'd like to
Orchestrated a
hear.
scheme to use wireless cheating technology to run rigged poker games across the United States, including in the Hamptons, Las Vegas, Miami, and Manhattan. The scheme targeted victims known as, quote, fish, who were often lured to participate in these rigged games by the chance to play alongside former professional athletes who were known as, quote, face cards. The so-called face cards included the defendant Chauncey Billups, who at the time of the scheme was a former NBA player and is currently the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, and also Damon Jones, a former NBA player and coach. What the victims, the fish, didn't know is that everybody else at the poker game, from the dealer to the players, including the face cards, were in on the scam. Once the game was underway, the defendants fleeced the victims out of tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars per game. The defendants used a variety of very sophisticated cheating technologies, some of which were provided by other defendants in exchange for a share of the profits from the scheme. For example, they used off-the-shelf shuffling machines that had been secretly altered in order to read the cards in the deck, predict which player at the table had the best poker hand, and relay that information to an off-site operator. The off-site operator sent the information via cell phone back to a co-conspirator at the table, and that person at the table was known as the quarterback. The quarterback then signaled secretly the information he had received from others to others at the table, and together they used that information in order to win their games.
All right, turn this down for a second. I've got a couple of different questions here. Does it matter to you guys at all if Billups was doing this while he was a player, but not as a coach?
No,
does
not
it?
at all.
No.
I don't. No distinction there whatsoever.
I mean, my biggest takeaway from it is Billups comes off as a total dirtbag. Like he's in on a poker scheme to rip off civilians.
Oh, no, you're stealing money from
Ripping off
people.
fish.
Total dirtbag.
You're stealing money from the fish. For sure. That's just theft is all. Like you're scamming in order to steal the money of others. But the reason I'm making the distinction is the position that Chauncey Billups is presently in, if he's doing that as a coach, to me, it does feel different than if he was doing it as a player.
Why?
Because of how long ago he was doing it. Because he's not in the position of authority when he is taking advantage of his leadership position. It's still wrong. I'm not saying it's not wrong. I'm just saying that when Chauncey Billups' name was associated with this, the reason to me it's a bigger story than Damon Jones is because he's the head coach of something.
That's
like
right.
he's not an assistant coach and he's not a former player. He's actively in the league, and this sounds like they are coming after him for actual crimes, but crimes from years ago, not crimes committed while as a coach. To me, there is a distinction there.
I'm not getting that impression.
I didn't grab that from that.
It seems like he's the draw, right? In the poker game, we got Chauncey Billups in this game, and then whoever's the fish is like, I'm going to go over there. I want to play with Chauncey Billups.
I don't know how you have that takeaway when they said that Jonte Porter is involved in this, and that's a recent thing.
Okay, so
I don't know how.
Mike, that was on the sports gambling side of it, not the poker
Yeah,
side.
but there was a tether to it. Like
But I think they made the distinction that Damon Jones is the tether to
okay,
both.
but yeah, but I don't think we're talking about something that happened during Chauncey Billups' playing days. I didn't get
just
that
because he
takeaway.
said it's a criminal enterprise that goes back years. Like I don't know where all of
the
this
mafia goes back years.
Where all of this started. I don't know how.
La Casa Nostra.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, why does he keep
pronouncing that
calling it
wrong.
La Casa? It's not a house.
Well, he was nervous. You could hear the nerves.
You know that's what it means, right? La Casa means house, Dan.
That's right about that.
Do you know what the Nostra means?
La Cosa Nostra means this thing of ours.
You're a real Godfather expert.
Don't question my gangster knowledge.
So, do you guys want to know anything else from
He seems
this?
to be wrapping up. He's like thanking the people who worked on the investigation.
So
right
I
now.
win the bet. No bigger names, right? I get all your money.
Yeah.
I get everything here. The biggest we're doing here is Terry Rozier. He really nailed the dismount, and you can bet on that.
Yeah,
like that.
that's right.
That was a.
Your winning streak has ended.
Your luck has run out, and you can bet on that.
But what we did not hear, because we put the audio down, he called the Toronto Raptors the Toronto Rangers. So he's got
No.
that right. Yes, he did.
I was like, what team is he talking about?
So that's obviously Jonte Porter.
My favorite part, though, was not hundreds, not thousands, not millions, but billions, gazillion, trillions of dollars.
I really did think he was going to go
Yeah.
to billions
Tens
and
of
trillions,
millions.
but he
Tens of
did
millions.
tens of millions. Wait a minute, tens of millions are millions.
Yeah.
You should know that. Your name is Cash.
Not one, not two, not three.
So not qualified for that position. Shouldn't be speaking in front of microphones.
Sounded
You know where he
nervous.
started his career here? Public defender, Miami.
I thought you were
Because
talking
of course.
Jeremy.
Hey,
Hey, man.
Can we put the story to the side now and realize that the biggest news happened before they came and gave us the details that was going to be the biggest news, that we had the biggest news, and the biggest news is just names. It's just names, and they were doing something, but we don't have the
They
information.
gave us some detail.
I
about
thought
how
the
they-
poker
yeah.
scheme was interesting.
The poker stuff that was pretty detailed, and they gave a little insight as to how they actually use their insight, the people that are alleged of doing these crimes.
I mean, Dan,
to
did you hear
help
what
gamblers?
Did you hear what they call like the guy who relays the information? Quarterback.
Yeah.
Because they get to play in the headset.
why wouldn't
then.
they call him the point guard?
I understand that this is obviously a big story, and I'm not going to dispute that it's a big story, but it's being made bigger by the big show that they're making of Chauncey Billups was cheating at cards. That's what the story is on Chauncey Billups. It's not Chauncey Billups was affecting the integrity of the game. Chauncey Billups is a thief who was cheating at cards, but not Chauncey Billups is over here doing what Terry Rozier and what Jonte Porter were doing. It's an important distinction.
Yeah, CNN straight up put on the screen Terry Rozier allegedly rigged NBA games.
ESPN has not covered this at all. They're talking about Aaron Rodgers. There's no coverage anywhere on ESPN of what is presently happening. ESPN is slightly less nimble than it used to be about going to live programming off of news events. So I don't know what's happening here, and I can't make an accusation on what's happening here. But it is suspicious that the FBI just had a 10 a.m. press conference and ESPN was talking about Aaron Rodgers during it. They cannot or have not broken into coverage of what this scandal is.
Yeah, but what are they saying about Aaron Rodgers? The Steelers are playing well, right? Obviously, they had a hiccup last week, but they're back on track. Aaron Rodgers could be dark horse for maybe an MVP if they keep winning.
The Steelers, what happened to them last week against the Bengals was legitimately confusing to me to watch offense like that happen against the Steelers. But I don't.
Steelers defense sucks this year.
They haven't been very good. It's weird. There is one thing that I said with certainty before the season started, which is that the Jets and Steelers defenses are good. It's not looking great.
Can't
for
win
me
them all
right
day.
now. Yeah, well, I don't win many of them. So Chauncey Billups, if you're just joining us, cheated at cards and stole the money of Fish as the quarterback who should have been named the point guard. That just makes sense. Why wouldn't you just make it the point guard?
I mean, it would be so simple. You could call him the point guard.
It's Chauncey Billups.
It would have been so simple.
It's Chauncey Billups, right? The way they were doing that, though, that sucks to sort of realize. Like, you have to understand that there is some Fish out there turning on his television. He's like, wait a minute. Chauncey was using a rigged shuffling deck? That's why I kept losing. There's somebody who woke up this morning, tuned into this press conference, and is like,
I knew it.
I was so happy to be with Damon Jones and Chauncey Billups, and they had a rigged deck. And the
Three full houses in a row.
And the dealer, Emily, was in on it. She was in on it as well.
He was so nice.
How were they always folding their cards when I had Ace King? How'd they know? I thought they were such good poker players, but they happened to know. They were using a
Jose Altuve. It's like a bzz, 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 bzz.
No, but
is that a fold?
A trash can? Who's banging on a trash can?
No, wait a minute. It's not buzzing. Somebody was being sent a text.
One guy's checking his phone like, yeah, I'm gonna fold. Here you go.
All of a sudden, the phone on the table just vibrates.
Why did the Fish catch on to every time the phone was vibrating?
Fish.
Did that attorney practice how he was going to say, known as the Fish? He learned that term. He learned that he hasn't watched Rounders. He doesn't know anything about poker. If you don't know who the sucker is at the table, then the sucker is you. This guy got an indoctrination to what gambling is with this story and was thrilled to do that press conference.
First Take actually just took the press conference live. They have it now.
It's just a bunch of people in suits applauding. They've already given out the news.
They just some guy, 30 years he's been here. They're just now giving like platitudes to people.
To those wrongdoers, you have gone up against a full house, and you just have twos.
And we got the nuts.
You have busted out. I suggest you fold now.
It felt like a movie poster. Can you guys get for me just him saying, your luck has run out? He was practicing that with his wife. Like
we have an ace up our sleeve.
Babe, what do you think of this one? What if I use a betting pun at the end?
Even I didn't like that.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but they were really enjoying giving a lot of big adjectives to the great work that they are doing. And again, Chauncey Billups has been caught cheating at cards. Get him! Let's get him!
It is a sensational name, and it takes my attention away from other stuff.
What even's going on out there?
What
Who
other stuff is that guy
cares?
talking about?
Exactly right.
If you want to spend some time with Tony this weekend, he's developed a fun side hustle on weekends that is watching some MMA with some of his closest friends. What are you doing? Where are you doing it this weekend?
Dano,
Tony?
you are sitting in the seat that I will be sitting in come Saturday, 2 p.m. for UFC 321. We've got Tom Aspinall, the undisputed heavyweight champion after John Jones has retired. He's now standing in the fold at the top of the mountain for the heavyweight title. He's fighting Cyril Gane, who fought John Jones last a couple years ago and had John Jones win the heavyweight title. So very cool situation there in the heavyweight division. We'll be hanging out. It's in Abu Dhabi for everybody out there. Start time 2 p.m. So 2 to 5 p.m. MMA hangout presented by Boost Mobile. We'll be here in studio doing our thing.
First time you've done that in studio,
in
correct?
studio, exactly right. So we're gonna have fun. We're gonna be watching the fights, be watching some college football, doing a whole bunch of stuff. So we'll be hanging out. MMA hangout presented by Boost Mobile, 2 p.m. start time everywhere that you watch.
I imagine the story will continue to develop. This was just a press conference. We're not privy to every detail, but Jeremy did catch something pretty interesting in terms of teams that were named.
Yeah, it wasn't just the Toronto Rangers that were mentioned. It was the
Lakers,
Toronto
right?
Rangers along with the Lakers, the Hornets, and the Blazers, which is obviously interesting in regard to anything that could be going on with Chauncey Billups. The Lakers, of course, I believe, and I'll go back and check now, Damon Jones might have been an assistant on their staff when LeBron first got there, because obviously their connection from having played together in Cleveland, and I can go search for that. And then the Hornets, that's where this was going on with Terry Rozier. Obviously the Miami Heat not named.
Very quick to point that out.
Of course.
Well, I think the news here is that was indeed Terry Rozier trying in a Miami Heat uniform.
Let's go to the Dentech bucket. Let's do some of our football picks this week. My wife has been very concerned about how to make me look like Bad Bunny.
Which one are you going to go with, Dano?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of looks for Bad Bunny. I know you know that, Josh.
Roger Goodell yesterday said that blowback, he is undeterred. He is still going with Bad Bunny as the Super Bowl halftime show.
As you should, my commissioner. Thank you.
The Bucket is presented by Dentech's Ultimate Fantasy Football Punishment. Learn more and sign up your league at dentech.com.
Jeremy, you are first.
I got the Carolina Panthers.
They are a 7.5-point
no
dog
shot.
at home against Buffalo.
Red Rifle.
Keep it.
Red Rifle.
Revenge game against the Bills, but
I like that. I like them
Are
to
you
cover that.
kidding me?
The cover, not to win.
I got the Detroit Lions, who are on a bye.
Congratulations. No one's happy for you.
Woo!
Especially not me.
Mike Ryan is going now.
I got the Chicago Bears.
Live dog against the Ravens. No Lamar this week. I like that.
At Baltimore, minus, they're
They
plus 6.5.
They removed the ping pong tables from the Ravens locker room.
Oh, shit.
But is Lamar still there?
I think he's coming back.
I don't think so.
Think about what you guys just did there. He's coming back because Chicago is a 6.5-point dog, even though they're 4-2 against 1-5 Baltimore.
I like that.
A 1-5 team that's a 6.5-point favorite.
I like
I
that.
got the San Francisco 49ers. They're at C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans.
The Texans are a 1.5-point favorite. You hate the Texans. You're happy to be on the other side of the Texans.
Yeah, I think this is an upgrade.
McCorkle. Let's see. I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
They
I
are
got New Orleans.
4.5-point favorite at New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm going to keep them.
This is my last week of the Golden Helmet. So I'm good.
Jeez, I thought you were leaving too.
Oh, wow.
Man, you scared me.
Holy shit.
It sound like you're making your announcement.
Oh, that's how
Leave it
Roy
to go
would do
where?
it.
Good break out, Roy. Good break out.
That is how you would do it.
Where the hell am I going?
This is my last week. Oh, shit, Roy.
Hockey news.
Nowhere.
Going to the hockey news.
I got the Bears now. I'm putting that back.
Hey, where's your mouthpiece? Where's your mouthpiece?
I've got it in, man.
Your Dentech mouthpiece.
I got the Steelers. 3.5-point underdog at home.
Against Green Bay?
Yeah, I'll keep it.
That game is going to be really hard to look at.
You're in big trouble.
Both teams wearing gold.
garish uniforms from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hey, I like that, man.
Was that your Nixon? Who was that? What was that impersonation?
Oh,
that you were
Gruden,
doing?
man. Garish uniforms.
I got the Saints.
Let's go back with me and you.
You want to switch with me?
No, I'm saying I got the Bucks.
There's no switching. The
No.
Saints are
We
can
4.5
No.
point
I got the
underdog.
Bucks. He's got the Saints. We have a little friendly wager, me and you.
Nope, I'm putting that back.
Wow. Scared, Jack.
I got the Washington Commanders.
You got Marcus Mariota, pal, against the Kansas City Chiefs.
You should have gone with me, buddy.
Woof. Woof,
I would have made it worth your while.
I got the Dallas Cowboys. Do I want the Dallas Cowboys? They are on the road at Denver. I do not want the
Plus
Dallas Cowboys.
3.5.
How did I get them again?
Because you're terrible at putting something.
You did that
with the Browns
last
rummage.
This is the second time this season you
This
did
is why you rummage.
Truly awful rummage.
You got to rummage.
You want to switch?
I don't think that that's the way that that's supposed to go.
That's
You
how
got
it
to
works.
rummage. It's a possibility. That's why we say put it back in.
It's always possible.
I want to get to some sound here. Please turn that off. Our thanks to Dentech for sponsoring the bucket. I have told you before that I was grinding my teeth at night and I was having some issues with
I don't think I've lost this year.
with TMJ, and this was very helpful. So if you're having any of those issues where you know that you're grinding your teeth or you don't know that you're grinding your teeth, but you feel some soreness in your jaw, Dentech will take care of you.
Tony
on
hasn't
front.
lost this year.
He mentioned
Dan, I don't
that.
think I've lost this
He
year,
thought
Dan.
it was very
That's so
important
exciting.
to interrupt
I think he
that.
thought his mic was off.
It was
was
so
so
was off. Somebody
genuine.
turned this mic back on. I
He
don't know
was
what
so
happened.
interested in that, and it
I
was
turned it
not
off.
in any way interesting.
Dan was telling about his grinding, and all of a sudden, I haven't lost this week.
Yeah,
Really
just,
happy for
just
you.
a stray interesting fact only to
Undefeated.
Tony. Yes. The thing that I wanted to play for the audience, though, Joe Flacco, and I don't know, I feel like I've got a group of people here who are self-conscious about eating alone. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Are you self-conscious about eating in a restaurant alone? I never have been, but just what happened to me the other day, because I was eating in a restaurant alone and then someone recognized me and I realized that without the buffer of having somebody with me, people can take inappropriate amounts of your time because you're alone. And I don't really have an excuse. If my food is in front of me and I'm eating alone and there's nobody else around, I have no buffers from somebody just sitting down comfortably if they're willing to do the thing of the day, which is if you have no shame, you'll get whatever you want. And so the person just sat down across from me because I was eating alone. Yes.
They didn't say, like, hey, can I sit here?
No. Mm-mm.
And when they sat down, what did you say?
I mean, I'm never going to be anything other than polite to anybody who's a fan of the nonsense that we do because it's our customers. So I sat there and I ate with him.
How long did they stay?
About 20 minutes.
Whoa. What'd you guys talk about?
The show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the show. And you know what? One of the things, and this one happens to me all the time. This conversation is one that I have all the time with strangers. And it happens just like this. Cody really doesn't understand the show, huh? And I'm like, no, he still doesn't understand it after 20 years. Like,
I'm getting it.
Like that's a real thing with Greg Cody.
What'd they think of me?
That yeah, you didn't come up. So Joe Flacco was eating alone, and he's got a take on eating alone that is the wisdom accrued by the aged, the wisdom accrued by kids who buy the Jahmyr Gibbs jersey instead of rooting for you, their father, who's in a game. He's got wisdom accrued of, I like eating alone. You know why? Because my family's not there.
I think there's always a challenge of sitting in a room by yourself and being lonely. So for me, it's trying to find ways to maybe stay over here a little bit longer and then, just kind of take myself out of that mindset, call home, go sit at a restaurant by myself and realize that, man, that's pretty enjoyable to do. After there's not too many situations. I tell people all the time. I mean, I used to see guys sitting at a bar by themselves, or just sitting by themselves eating and grabbing a little meal, and I'm like, man, I feel so bad for that guy. Like, you almost want to go join him. And now I realize, like, that dude was in heaven.
It's so true. I love eating by myself.
You just love eating.
I do love eating.
I've never seen a guy eating by themselves and just wanted to join them.
You never thought it's sad though? Not wanting. I'm with you on not wanting to join them, but it does convey like, oh, they're alone.
I was at an Italian restaurant in Chicago a few months back, and there was a dude that dressed up, was wearing a collared shirt, took off a blazer, sat down, treated himself to a nice sundae, red sauce sundae.
Took himself on a date.
Date yourself.
And I was like, man, this guy is a king.
This is a place, I believe, where people listening will separate on what they believe about this. Because I do remember being in a restaurant with Moises Alou, and Craig Counsell had just been traded over to the Marlins. And Moises Alou was looking at Craig Counsell eating in the restaurant by himself, and he just said under his breath, that poor guy. Everyone listening to this has an opinion on this. There is an opinion on how you feel about the person eating alone at the restaurant. And I do believe it matters whether you have kids or not, because as we've learned around here, many of you go to the bathroom to hide from your kids. Like many of you around here, this is a trick in these circles, and not a very good one. I'm going to read for 45 minutes, and my family might think I have stomach problems, but I don't want to be around my family problems.
Is there a difference in sadness in eating alone at a booth by myself and at the bar? Because
You can't sit in the booth by yourself.
Bar, 100% never sad.
Bar's awesome.
So if I'm at a booth alone, that's sad?
Yeah. Like if you're not sitting at the bar, you got to sit at a table that's like a table for two, but you're by yourself. That's okay. You can't sit at the booth by yourself.
I like a booth.
What if it's an empty restaurant, so I had my choice, and I'm like, I'll take a booth.
Yeah, I don't want to sticky elbows. I don't want to go at the bar.
Really? You prefer the booth?
Are you not familiar with my brand? Don't talk to me.
You mentioned that was just a character earlier in the show. You got
That's
penalized for that.
Blur the lines. Work, shoot. You never know.
This is from Chris Vanini on Twitter.
What did he say?
Within a week, we've had a major jewel heist, a mafia-involved poker ring, and sports gambling corruption. We're all living in the 1920s. I fully expect prohibition to fall upon us here in the next...
It feels more like the late 30s, early 40s.
Can you get me the sound, please? And forgive me for not knowing who this suit was who got in front of us and gave this press conference that he practiced in a mirror last night. But I just want you to imagine this sort of on a Schwarzenegger movie poster as he comes out as the local DA to tell some athletes that all of a sudden their gambling in sports terms is going to end up with them holding a losing hand.
Your winning streak has ended. Your luck has run out.
There was another sentence, though, to that dismount. I want the third sentence because he absolutely hit 3 notes there.
And you can bet on that.
You nailed it.
And you can bet on that.
When he practiced it the night before, he definitely thought there was going to be like a round of applause, right?
Did he practice it wearing the dress shirt, the tie, but no pants? Like, did he practice
Classic
it?
look with the boxers only.
And again in the morning doing the necktie.
And you can bet on that.
Does he's got beige dress socks on and the dress shoes. Only thing missing is the pants, correct?
Stirrups to hold up the socks.
Your winning streak has ended.
Thank you. That's about the only stuff from that press conference that I want to hang on to. I also, though, want to go back to what it is that's happening at this point in the career of Joe Flacco, where I've always thought that he has the personality of a dry cleaning bag, like just sort of starched. But now I love him because he's a human robot.
It says a lot about aging. No, he has found his personality. Every time he's had like a great clip a week in front of the press when he's made available. He speaks. It's refreshing.
Opposite of Tua.
He's
Jesus.
not necessarily worried about what he's going to say because he knows he's not going to say anything that like Tua that will hurt his team. He's just been a fountain of knowledge, and I'm like, I never in a million years would have thought, man, I want to see Joe Flacco in the media. Yeah. And now I'm like, put him in the Monday Night booth.
Well, one of the things that I'm enjoying about Joe Flacco, and he seems to realize just how precious this is, because I've talked to so many athletes who don't realize this until after they're done. he is absolutely carrying himself with the gratitude of, oh, I can't believe I get to throw to T. Higgins and Jamar Chase at the end. Like, I get to throw a couple more footballs to good receivers, and he's carrying himself as if he knows he's got the fountain of youth in his locker, where he's just super grateful to be able to play, when so often these guys leave the game and they're like, why didn't I enjoy it more? I didn't know what I had in my hands.
He's articulated that it's I know T. Higgins and Jamar Chase help matters, but he's always been grateful to still be playing at a level where he feels he belongs in the league, because he loves playing these games. He feels blessed to be doing it, and he articulates it in ways that you don't often hear.
It's a funny thing, though, to hear him be grateful, just because at that age it must really hurt when the 300-pounder lands on you and you've had 200 of those hits.
Not just that, it must hurt when you're a former Super Bowl champion and you're being churned out through the league. The Jets didn't want you. They wanted Tim Boyle over you. You're doing a pit stop in Philadelphia. You're in Cleveland twice. You don't have to be doing that. A lot of the stuff, when guys reach this age, and yeah, they may be able to play at a level like Flacco, they don't want to swallow their pride. I'm a Super Bowl champion. What do I got to be third string on the depth chart? Joe Flacco is just blessed to be still in camps.
It is a bit crazy, though, when you think about he's still got the hose. Like, he's still that game against Pittsburgh. I'm not kidding you when I tell you that was as confusing a game as I've seen this season. It's not just because Pittsburgh's not good at defense and I expected them to be good at defense. I didn't expect the Cincinnati offense to look like it was led by Joe Burrow if it wasn't Joe Burrow leading the offense. Like, I did not expect it to look that easy when I'm watching every quarterback in the league throw for 150 yards.
Does Jake Browning stink, or does the Cleveland offense stink?
Jake Browning kind of stinks. But you talk about Flacco. He got there in a week and was like, yeah, I got the offense. Throw it to these two guys.
Well, but he targeted, what was the target rate?
23.
On Jamar Chase, it was
Alone.
he threw to him. But it's not just 23, it's 23, and he's always open on the shallow route. Like, he's open by, like, everything was super easy, weirdly easy. Offense is no longer easy in that league. Look, man, for 18 weeks, I don't care what you say, the Chiefs offense wasn't making it look easy. Like, they made it look very easy before that. They're making it look very easy the last couple of weeks. But for 18 weeks, Patrick Mahomes was not making it look easy.
In those 18 weeks, they made it a Super Bowl.
But it looked constipated on offense. You're not going to dispute me on that, right?
No. In fact, I was not disputing that. I was just saying they need guys back.
But Joe Flacco looking all of a sudden like better than the Detroit offense. That you guys give me maybe Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold in a shootout. Give me all the offensive days you've seen this season that looked as easy as what Cincinnati made it look like against Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh and Jets week number 1. Like, that was it. Right?
Justin Fields looked incredible against Pittsburgh. Crap defense.
Buffalo and the Ravens.
I see those uniforms, though, and I'm like, that has to be a good
I
Colts,
understand you see those uniforms, but trust me, Joe Flacco's got stinkers up his sleeve. Yeah. He's going to look pretty bad.
He'll throw 3 and 4 interception games. That's what's been the case the last couple of years. Why you're not going anywhere if he's your number 1 starter, except he can get you to Burrow. He can do that. He can give you 2 or 3 games. Like, if you're going to get the 3 interceptions from Browning anyway, go top end and see if you can get them from Flacco.
That's the one last job. That's like, do you still have it, Joe? Get me to Joe Burrow with a chance to make the playoffs. That is all you have to do. You don't have to run a table. You don't have to set passing records. You just got to basically go 500 the rest of the way. Can you do that?
You mentioned that Flacco is press conference you want to see. Zaslow was saying that now that Tua press conferences are must-see, but for all the wrong reasons.
He was asked why he didn't target Jalen Waddle more.
I think with that, some of it has to do with being able to see guys. With their guys also up front and our guys. And I'm not the tallest guy in the back there either. So being able to see, and then, sometimes when that happens, you don't want to just throw it blindly.
So I want to throw to them, but they're tall in front of me, and I don't see him.
I don't want to throw it blindly, but then I threw 3 picks blindly.
But I really want you to think that I know what I'm doing here, so I'm going to talk like I really think that they're just tall, so I don't see them.
Is that your Tua?
That's my Tua.
It's not terrible.
I work on that.
It's
No, I
not
work
terrible.
on that.
It needs
It's more of the tone of like I'm saying something really important.
You
right
have the
now.
cadence. You have
Thank
the cadence sound.
because I'm really just trying to sound smart.
It's the same thing a sixth grader would say if I threw him on an NFL football field and said, "Why didn't you throw to Waddle?" I couldn't see him. Those guys are really big.
Look, I know over the last few weeks you guys have been worried about my brains and my approach to the game. I just want to remind you, I also have physical limitations. I
can't do half what Josh has. Folks, listen up. All your favorite NBA players are back, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is the place to bet on NBA stars this season. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code DAN. That's code DAN. You bet $5, you get 3 months of NBA League Pass, plus $300 in bonus bets if your $5 bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.